Hi, I'm Chuck, KK6USY. Welcome to Ham Radio Ventures. Now, I get a lot of offers from companies wanting me to send me stuff to review. And a lot of the stuff, they obviously don't watch the channel. They don't really pertain to ham radio. So the other day I got one from Vevor, V-E-V-O-R. This company makes a lot of things. I actually have one of their diesel heaters for my box trailer, and it works great. So I was interested because I knew they were a pretty decent company. But the things they sent me didn't look like anything that I could relate to my channel. One of them said belt sander, and I thought, you know, a hand belt sander or something like that. But I went ahead and looked at it, and I'm glad I did, because it's actually a tabletop with a disc, an 8-inch disc, and a rotating 4-inch wide belt sander. And I'm thinking, I can make this work for ham radio. So let's go over and take a look at it. I've got it set up over here. We'll unbox it and see what it does. And eventually I'll put it together. I may record some of that. I may not. Or I may just kind of do bits and parts of it. I don't know. Basically all I've done is looked in the box so far. Now I do want to thank the good folks over at Vevor for sending this to me. They sent it to me to review. They didn't tell me what to say. Basically I always give the specifics of whatever the tool or product is. They also do not want to see my video before, my thumbnail before, any of it before I actually post it on YouTube. So it'll be an honest review of how I think it works. Pretty much the only way I'll do it. If they want to look at it beforehand and judge it, I won't even do it. So I've got it set up over here. Let's go check it out and see what's in the box. All right, guys, so here's the box. When it got here, I was like, wow, this thing is really big. And it is big, but when you actually take it out of the box, it's a lot smaller than it looks. Now, it really is a nice looking benchtop from what the pictures I've seen so far. Now, I have a project for this, and I'm going to show you a few other uses. You know, all hams love to use PVC, right? Because it's cheap and easy to get. But when you cut it with your little PVC cutters, usually it's not a square cut. So we'll see if we can square something up with this thing. I think we will be able to. And I've got another project. I want to build a winder. I'm going to take one of our Coffee and Ham Radios winders for the shape, cut it out, but leave the line, and then we're going to take this thing and sand it as close as perfect as we can. All right, let's see what's in the box. Box got here relatively in good shape. On the top here, we've got a manual that will probably tell us how to put it together. And it looks like it's in English and about 20 pages. All right. Has a like a miter tool, so you can do corners and stuff by turning this here. These things are so-so, feels plasticky, but that's kind of the way they come. It's got a small table here. I do believe this is for the actual, I think this one's for the belt sander part, and it can be adjusted, as you can see here. We'll show that to you later also. There's a few screw, like clamp screw type things here, and a Allen wrench. So let me just set this stuff to the side here. And then we have the bigger table. This is all aluminum, it seems like. That's what it feels like anyhow. And same thing with this one. It can be set at a 90, or also has ways of setting it different degrees, from 0 to 45 degrees. And it was packed in some nice foam. Inside the box we have, I didn't bring a knife out, guys. I think this is the sanding disc in here. We'll look at that later also. And then we have the tool. Let me take some of the plastic off here. Here's the power cord. We will just kind of pull this out. I've heard this power cord's pretty long. And of course I twisted it. It's like taking an antenna out, right guys? Let me pull it out of here and we'll set it up on the table to take a look at. Okay, there is the front of the sander. You can see it has, this is laid down. You can use this in two ways. It comes all the way down flat, or it also moves all the way up to be a 90. And then on the side here, sorry for that, you've got the disc, and there's the screw for the disc. And from what I've seen, it's pretty flush with the plate. The plate is probably in that box also. And I do believe the disc is actually machined, so it's pretty round and pretty true. Okay, we'll see that later once we start it up. In the front here, we have a key. It goes on and off, if you guys can see that. But I do believe, I don't know how it works, this key comes out. So you can turn it on and off with this, but without this key inside there, it won't actually work, because it actually has to have that to flip the switch, actually, I think is what happens. On the bottom, let me turn it up. It's made to where you can bolt it to a bench or just bench top it. Has these 4 rubber feet. The rubber feet have holes through them, so you can actually bolt it to the bench if you want to. On this side, right here is an attachment for your vacuum, so it'll take most of the dust into the vacuum, hopefully. You just got to remember to hook it up and turn it on. And then this valve here, this one says belt, and that one says disc. And if you look inside, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll try to do this as a close-up, but you can see there's a thing inside that changes it back and forth. I'll try to get a close-up of that later if I can't do this, if I can't do it on here. So really it's pretty much set up, guys. I thought there was going to be more to it to build it. I think I have to put the tables on, and let's just pull one of those out here. And I do believe this table will go right here. You guys can't see that. Well, let me get it all put together, and I'll show you guys how it went together. I'm not going to do a build video because it looks like it's pretty much built. All right, let me put the 2 tables on, the disc, and maybe we'll take some close-ups of that when we do it. All right, let me just go ahead and open this box, and we'll see what's in here. Yeah, like I thought, this is the disc. And this disc is a stick-on disc. It's got adhesive on the back to stick it to it. Sometimes it'd be nice if those were like you put the Velcro on there first and then put the Velcro type pads on, but this is what it came with. As you can see, it's got, let me show it to you a little closer. Okay, so it's got like a key slot here on for the shaft to go on, then 2 screw holes. And this does look like it was milled. Okay, that's nice. And that's aluminum also. All right, let me read you a couple of the specs on the machine itself. Now it's let's see what it says here. It has a 5-amp motor. It runs on 120, 60 hertz, which is what the US runs on. And that equates to 3/4 of a horsepower. It runs at 3,450 RPMs. And it says induction. I believe that's the other part here. The belt runs at 2,160 feet per minute, no load. It's 4 inches wide, 36 inches long, and that's a common size. So you can probably get this at your Ace or even Harbor Freight or someplace like that probably. The disc runs at 3,450 RPMs, and that's 8-inch diameter. So nice size. And the exhaust port is 2.5 inches outer diameter. So that should fit most vacuums, bigger vacuums actually probably. The work table is 6 11/16 by 4 15/16. And the miter gauge is 0 to 60. It doesn't give both tables, okay? And I'm assuming that's the bigger one. All right, guys, I wanted to show you one thing. It says to take all these screws out. I took all but one and just folded this over. This here, just like that. Now, this is the washer and the screw. This is left-handed threads. Let me repeat that. Left-handed threads, not your normal right-handed threads. That is to make it to where it won't spin off as it spins and loosen up. Okay. Now on this paper towel, I've got some regular rubbing alcohol, like isopropyl, and I'm going to clean this up. It says to clean this up nice before you stick on the disc. Okay. So clean that up so it'll stick nice. You don't want that thing coming flying off. And as you can see, it did have a little bit of grease or oil on it. All right, I just wanted to show that to you guys. Let me install this thing. Okay, as you can see, I had this on now. Pretty good job, guys. Now anytime you put screws like this on, make sure you don't tighten any down until you get them all in. That's just a good practice for any kind of a build that you do like that. And this, since it's not a torque thing, usually you would torque, you know, different areas at one time, but this is just a cover, so don't worry about it. Just make sure you get everything started before you tighten it down. All right, guys, if you look, it's going to be hard for you guys to see, but I don't usually trust the gauges on these things. Now you take this thing and push it right against there. If you can look really close, it's got just a little bit of a gap at the bottom, so that means it's not in a 90. If you guys don't have one of these tri-squares, get one. It's handy for everything around the house, guys. So I'm going to loosen this up a little bit, loosen this one up a little bit. And hopefully I'm not getting in the way. But there is 90 right there, right? And this thing changes when you tighten it, so you got to be kind of careful. And that's nice and square right there. Let me tighten them both. You can see that when I tighten that one over there, it changes a little bit. Okay, nice and square. Everything is touching right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Just wanted to show that to you. Always do something like that when you're messing, especially with these lower priced tools. Sometimes you gotta be on the offensive to make things right. All right. Next thing I want to do is, I don't want this to lay flat. I want it to be at a 90. There is a Allen screw here that you have to loosen, which I already loosened. And then you just pull this up and it should stop at the upright position. And then what you want to do is you want to put the Allen screw back in here, the Allen wrench, and tighten up that screw again. It probably just needs to be snug. It's a collar around the shaft, basically, guys. So it's a compression fit. All right, just wanted to show that part to you too. Okay, again, guys, this is the table for this side, for this belt, and this is the screw that adjusts it. I'm going to do the same thing I did before with my tri-square. I'm going to put that against there, and right now the table needs to go up. So I'm going to loosen a little bit, move the table up. And that's perfectly square right now. Perfect. Now you may want to set it at different angles, and this tri-square would actually be something you might want for that too. All right, I think this thing's pretty much set up, guys. Okay, guys, you always got to remember to wear your safety glasses, and I do have safety glasses on. All right. Now what I want to show you is how to adjust this belt. I'm going to talk to you a little bit first while you can hear me really well. If you see this, this is the roller here. If you can see, it's over about 1/4 of an inch, and on this side it's actually sticking off a little bit. On the side here, right here, there's like a little knob that you turn up or down, or right or left, and that will adjust this way or this way. All right, so I'm going to turn it on. We are going to adjust it to get it as close to the middle as we can. All right, here we go. Switch. I don't know which way to turn it yet. That was the right way. I'm just going to bring it to where it's just on both sides. All right, let me turn it off. All right, now you can see it's just inside this side, it's just inside this side. That's where you want to adjust it, guys. All right, as you guys can see, this has got like a ragged edge here. And that's because this PVC was a little bit older. See if I can get it, there we go. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on that machine there and see if we can straighten it up. Now look how it looks now, a lot straighter. You can't cut that straight with the cutters that you buy for doing PVC. Let's take it to the other side and see if that one works too. The other side's a little crooked also. All right, let's try this side and see if it does the same thing. I will move this over to here, and you guys, I did square this up with the tri-square, just like I showed on the other stuff for you. This one's not as bad, but it's a little out. It's not quite square. Okay, so turn it on. Let's put it on this side so it goes down. Now you can see this one's nice and square also. Pretty much almost perfect. All right, guys, so I traced one out. Here it is. I left the line, like I said. That way we can go in and sand to it. All right. Let's start off with the disc here and see if that will work. Otherwise, we may actually have to work on the belt itself. All right, it's going to get a little noisy, guys. May have to use both. All right, guys, so it went pretty good. You do have to be, so here it is. You do have to be kind of careful when I got to the far end, but I want the line gone. But I started hitting this section here. Try to stay out of the way. We'll work on the other side. That worked pretty good too. Actually, a barrel, another good tool would be one of the barrel ones, the ones that goes up and down. It has a round surface. But I think I can get this, and I will continue to do this, but not on camera. All right, guys, thanks. All right, guys, I think it came out pretty good. What do you think? Not bad? You know, I was talking about the circles being, and I still have work to do to it. I end up using the top of the belt. I actually ran this thing along here real carefully, and it did a pretty good job. As you guys can see, my lines are pretty much all gone, and I can touch it up a little bit more, but yeah, I thought it works really good. This is a great tool, guys. All right, guys, you know what? I think this is a winner. It worked really well. It never seemed to bog down. I didn't ever put a lot of pressure on it, but the power seemed to be plenty. And I did finish my my winder, and it came out pretty nice. Now, I did use a router and I sanded it by hand and stuff, and a drill to drill the holes. But hey, I think it did really well. And after I found out that I could use the top of that belt for these circles here, that was really beneficial to really getting this thing dialed in on those corners. The corners were the hard part on the disc and the front of the belt. So if you guys got something out of this video, please hit that like. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, hit all. That way you'll get all my future videos. I'm Chuck, KK6USY. I appreciate you guys spending your time with me today. I know your time is valuable, and so I hope to catch you guys on the airways, and maybe I'll start making some of these things and get them spread out there in the ham world. 73 all.